I can't even tell you how many Democrats came up to me and asked me, are you pro-mandate or against the mandate? And I would say against mandate. I'm not anti-vaccine. If you want to get the vaccine, you should get it. But I would tell them I'm against the mandate because I'm pro-freedom and free choice. And they would say, you know what, I'm a Democrat and I've never voted Republican in my life, but I'm going to vote for you because I'm against the mandates. I can't even tell you how many times that happened to me. And I don't think it's really a Democrat, Republican, conservative issue anymore. I think just people are really fed up. And I think that we'll see more Democrats voting the other direction just because they're sick and tired and angry at the way this government has handled the pandemic and other issues as well.
Let me ask you about something that I found surprising. I mean, of course, everyone loves New York City. It's one of the world's great cities. It also happens to be one of the world's most Jewish cities. Outside of Tel Aviv, I think it actually has the largest Jewish population in the world. So I was shocked to see on your Twitter feed the uptick in anti-Semitism in such a Jewish city, not just a Jewish city, but a progressive city, a city that thinks of itself as being exquisitely caring for human rights. Tell me a little bit about anti-Semitism in New York, including at the City University of New York. I was startled to hear it. I can't even believe it, really, but tell me what you're seeing.
So the rises in anti-Semitism is about 300% up. So it's everywhere. It's in many different forms. People getting beaten up on the street, people being discriminated against at school, just, in social media. There are really different things happening. I think the worst of it is, somebody beaten on a Jew. It's mostly happening on the streets to visible Jews who wear a yarmulke or, a Jewish symbol. And it's extremely horrifying for me to watch as someone whose family escaped that. I mean, a lot of families from the Soviet Union escaped that because there was so much anti-Semitism there. Again, all kinds of discrimination. I mean, I remember when I was in school in my town in the Ukraine, there was an older gentleman who was beat up because he was Jewish right across the street. I remember this incident very well, although I was young, and it stayed with me. And I remember the anti-Semitism in universities. I remember that families had to change last names. My grandfather told us that our last name wasn't really Vernikov, that it was changed to sound less Jewish. Because if you were a Jewish student, you couldn't get into medical school. Even if you did, you got bad grades because you were Jewish. So escaping all of that and coming to America, the land of the free, and supposed to be a land of tolerance, and to come here and see this happening in 2022 is really horrifying for me to watch. But the anti-Semitism at CUNY is something that's been happening at least since 2015. I know that because I've been following it. For me, it started with there was a rally against tuition hikes that was hijacked by the Students for Justice in Palestine outside Hunter College in 2015. Somebody was assaulted, and I was really shocked about what was happening, but also shocked about the administration's lack of response. And so I've been following that issue for a long time. I wrote articles about it. I started being involved in different organizations to fight anti-Semitism at CUNY and in general. So this is nothing really new. I've had tons of students come to me to help them deal with anti-Semitism at their school. They've launched complaints and nothing happens. And so one of my priorities when getting elected into the city council was to fight anti-Semitism in general, but also at CUNY. I wanted to specifically highlight the anti-Semitism at CUNY because nobody had been talking about it for years, and it's been going unnoticed. Nobody has been held accountable for what's been going on. And so this was not news at all.
What you just saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday, I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, you also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.